Hi there, I'm Nick Psaila and welcome to today's episode. Now, no, I don't normally have one of these little caterpillars under me, so it is November and that's why I've got one of those on. All right, now let's get to it. So today what I want to talk about is I want to talk about joint ventures. Now, what's a joint venture? A joint venture is, two parties doing business that first of all is a win-win outcome for both parties, and most importantly, two parties doing business by identifying that they've got the same needs, they've got the same style of audiences that they both have. So here's an example. So if you're in the wellness industry, as an example, maybe it's a chiropractor and a massage therapist, or an osteopath and a naturopath, right? These are the same style of audiences that are going from, either a naturopath and maybe they'll probably see a chiropractor. So a joint venture is when you're able to do business together with somebody in, a win-win environment that has a particular outcome that benefits not only the person that you're doing the joint venture with, but most importantly, the audience that each joint venture partner holds. Now, why are they so important? A critical component of any business owner that I speak with is, how do I identify your target audience? Number one rule, especially in marketing. The number two part about it is, the reason why they're important is, how do you get to somebody else's database that share the same style of audience as yours for a fraction of the price? Now, as all business owners know, trying to acquire brand new clients is probably one of the hardest things that you can do in business. So if you're able to do a joint venture with somebody else that already has your audience, and you can do that for the fraction of the price, in other words, you don't have to spend a lot of money on marketing to acquire that client. Not only does it help the person that's got the database by you adding a massive amount of value to them, we're going to talk about that in a second, but most importantly what it does is it gives you the opportunity to speak directly to your target audience. Now, how do I create and monetize an outcome that's win-win? A lot of business owners speak to me about that, especially when they're about to do joint ventures. Now, I believe that there's three different components to make sure that you have a win-win outcome, and most importantly, the joint venture partnership that you do has, financial benefit for both parties. So number one, first rule is you need to identify that the joint venture partner, their audience is a match for your product. So here's an example. So if you've got somebody, as an example, that you're in building, let's say that you're in cabinet making, it's no use getting maybe somebody's audience or doing a joint venture with somebody that does maybe they sell chairs. Well, is it a match? Possibly, but if they sell chairs for, let's say, commercial events, and you're somebody that does, domestic kitchens, well, maybe that's probably not the right joint venture. Is it close? Possibly. Now, let's say as an example, same example, that you're somebody that does kitchens. Well, maybe you're probably not going to do a joint venture with somebody that's a psychologist and they've got a database that's full of, people that are patients for that psychologist. There's some privacy issues, obviously, that, people don't want to really talk about. And number two, maybe it's not the right match. Now, let's say a great joint venture audience, match would be somebody that you're in kitchens and maybe they're a renovator or they're a builder. Somebody that, once again, that you're in kitchens, and maybe they're the people that focus on bathroom renovations, or they're people that are in carpet or carpet cleaning. So that would be a good audience match. Why? Because it's the same style of audience with the same style of needs. Number two is to make sure that you give great value. In other words, whatever your offer is going to be to them, if you're teaching them, let's say, the 5 things you need to know when selecting a kitchen or going to install a kitchen, as an example, if you're a cabinet maker that focuses on kitchens, you want to make sure that the value is really, really, really good. Things like insider information that a lot of people don't know, as an example, around kitchens. How to negotiate, how to pick up, kitchens at the right price, how to get appliances maybe at, wholesale prices. Any of these type of things that are going to offer really, really great value to the person and to the audience that you're doing the joint venture with. Very, very, very important. And number three, you want to make sure that there's an offer that suits their audience, i.e. in turn an offer that creates massive amount of value and most importantly creates momentum for them to be able to say, you know what, I really like what you had to say. I'd love to find out a little bit more about maybe how I can use your services or understand your product. In other words, what you're doing is the offer really needs to suit that audience. So let me just give you a recap. It's really important to do a joint venture. The reason being is it lowers your marketing costs and it's targeting the same audience that you're looking for as a business owner. You know, how do you create win-win and monetize? Number one, make sure you identify the audience as a match. Number two, make sure that you give a massive amount of value to, you know, that joint venture audience. And number three, make sure that the offer is suitable. So if you're somebody that, you know, is selling a $5,000 product as an example, and, you know, maybe the person that you're doing a joint venture with only sells $100 products, you might want to change that offer around to start as an intro and then move forward from there. My name's Nick Psaila. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I look forward to seeing you on the upside.